Hi, this is Saccharines Monitor, where I do predictions of the future. If you'd like me to do prediction for you, let me know in the comments below. Just a reminder that we do lives here on Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Central. So let's get the show started. We got Bob Job, we got Dilly Dilly. Hello, everybody. Let's start with the card of the day. This is from the Universe Has Your Back deck. Very good deck, by the way. Let's have a look at what the card says. It says, my faith has the power to turn trauma, excuse me, into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. And it's kind of going back to what we were describing last show on using the light and intentions and all of those wonderful things. You're going to have to tune in for the last show, okay, to find out exactly what we're talking about there. So there's the artwork on the card itself. Very nice. So there you go. So that was your card of the day. Let's get into the horoscope readings, and then we will get into the chat for today. So, horoscope readings for Aries for the new week coming up. So for the Aries, I think the health is going to be a little off for the beginning of the week. It's going to be taking a lot more hard effort to get all those things done that will be necessary to get through day-to-day tasks. It's just could be the weather putting you under a little bit, and you're going to be a little hung up on how to get through this situation. I believe by the end of the week, it's going to be improving with some new thinking and some new strategies to bring that health to a higher level than it needs to be. The financial situation, I think in the beginning of the week, we may be maybe overspending in some cases on some things. But by the end of the week, we're going to be pulling ourselves up by the socks and figuring out new ways of saving that money and improving our financial situation later in the week. The people that we surround ourselves with, they're kind of, they're there for next week, but they're going to be milling around doing their own thing, and people are going to be it's going to feel like they're kind of ignoring you for for the week, as everybody's doing their own thing, and you're going to be doing your thing. You may have thought one of the people that you associate with doesn't want to have any dealings with you, but that's going to be turning around in some weird and wonderful way for the next week. So just be aware of that situation and have fun. Okay, let's get into the next one. We're going to be looking at Taurus. So it seems Taurus's health is there's going to be a lot of emotional turmoil in the beginning of the week, and it's kind of be based on things that are around us that are causing mental stress and emotional stress. That's going to be in the beginning of the week. You're going to be relieving that as the week goes on, as you see that it's not what it seemed, and you're going to be putting that light around that particular situation, and it's going to become much, much better. So just be aware of this. The more you're aware of things before they come, the better you can react to them and change them to whatever you need. Okay, so for the financial part, you're going to be showing your work to somebody or someone. and it's going to be paying off in a big way. It's going to be the end of a cycle coming up for yourselves. And it's going to be moving on into a higher aspect of financial stability for yourself with this new work that you're going to be showing off to a coworker or a boss or something like that. The people that you're surrounding yourself with, maybe a little bit of a lull for many Tauruses out there. And by the end of the week, it's back to helping those people in need. And they're going to be coming back to you by the end of the week. Okay, so that was Taurus. Gemini. And we got Super Little Guy on there. Hello, Super Little Guy. So for the Geminis out there, I think in the beginning of the week, we're going to have some health situations that are going to be cropping up again. Okay. I think it may be the end of some type of cycle. Now you're going to have a decision which way to go. Okay. By the end of the week. So in the new week, after this week, you're going to be making a decision that's going to be impacting your health situation, and it's going to be for the better. Okay. You're going to weigh all the pros and the cons of everything that's in front of you, and you're going to be making pretty good choices for the new week after this one. But this week is going to be a little bit off. Okay. So for the financial part of our lives, it's going to be a lot more hard work that's going to be put in front of us, and it's going to be emotionally draining for the most part, but it's going to be paying off in a big way after another week or two. The people that you're surrounding yourself with, kind of the same as a couple other signs. Bless you. They're going to be doing their own thing, and you're going to be doing your own thing. So this may be a week of everybody doing their own thing and not really paying attention to everybody else that's around them. Okay, that's okay too. As we move along, doing stuff, the hustle and bustle of life. Let's look at Cancer. So for the Cancers out there, I think our health is going to be okay. There's going to be some situations that will have to be alleviated with new interesting ways of getting our health back up. Emotionally, we're going to be going into a new stage and not being as scared as we once were. Okay. Fear has a big part to play on our emotional state and our health. So using the light is going to be affecting many of the things that we perceive as negative. Okay. Always remember to use that light energy. Financially, I think we're going to be planting the seeds for new growth in our financial situation. And it's going to be the end of a particular situation that wasn't paying us as best as it can be. So there's probably going to be a huge change in our employment or our business, that sort of thing. The people that we're surrounding ourselves with, we're going to be coming to the end of some relationships, and it's going to be moving upwards and forwards with many new people that we're putting ourselves around, or putting people around ourselves that more aligned to our thinking. Okay, so that was Cancer for the next week. Leo. So for Leos, I think the health situation is going to be coming to an end, and everything that we were having difficulty with by the end of the week, it's going to be much, much better. Okay, we're going to be going into a new phase of health, maybe some new ways of thinking. Okay, which are going to be helping ourselves, maybe using a little bit more light around ourselves to help out those different situations that arise. Um, Financially, I think we're going to be doing okay, working on some new projects, that sort of thing that can bring in more financial stability to ourselves and the people that we surround ourselves with. You're going to be seeing somebody that's doing some nefarious things behind the scenes, and you're going to be shining a light upon them, and they're going to be creeping back into the darkness as they often do. And then you're going to be observing that situation much, much closer. Okay. And weighing the options of this particular person that's around you. Okay. So that was Leo, Virgo. So for the Virgos out there, our health seems to be a little bit confused. We're not quite sure on how to move forward with some aspects of our health. I think it's more of the mental, emotional part of ourselves that's going to be in conflict with many of the things that are around us. So this is going to be a week of really struggling with those emotional situations that we put ourselves into. Um, Financially, I think we're going to be okay. No huge changes there. Some things that have been hidden from you, okay, are going to be revealed by the end of the week, and you can act upon those in a good way. Okay. People that we surround ourselves with, uh, it's going to be a huge week of everybody doing their own thing. And then by the end of the week, everybody come back together and start working together for the betterment of society, as they say, or that little area, that small group of people that you come in contact with. Let's look at the next one, which is Libra. So the health of Libra seems to be doing very, very well. It's going to be very lucrative for themselves. Um, and actually conserving that health and not putting yourself out emotionally into things that do not serve us in any way. Financially, I think we're going to be doing in the beginning of the week, it's going to be a little on in a lull, but by the end of the week, we're going to be having a lot of victories along the way, and actually moving forward in huge ways. Okay, but that's at the end of the week. People that we surround ourselves with, beginning of the week, we're going to be working hard to solidify some friendships, which may not pan out for this particular week. It's probably going to be in the later weeks that they're going to be panning out. And they're going to be very beneficial when they do click. Okay, so that was Libra. Scorpio. So For the Scorpios out there, the health is going to be actually fairly good overall. We're going to be looking towards new horizons to get into different areas of health. But that's going to be by the end of the week, as we suffer a little bit but in the beginning of the week, but by the end we're going to be figuring out how to move forward in a good way for ourselves. Financially, I think we're going to be okay. Overall, I think we're going to be making some wise decisions. There may be another job opportunity coming our way, and many other opportunities coming our way, which will be paying off in the long run. People that we're surrounding ourselves with, there's going to be some people that are going to be dropping away, and there's going to be some brand new people that are going to be coming into the situation, and they're going to be emboldened to you in a big way. Okay, so that was Scorpio, Sagittarius. Some good questions coming up. Make sure you get lots of good questions for the remainder of the show after the horoscopes. Especially that super little guy. Okay. So for the Sagittarius, I think we're going to be coming to an end cycle of our emotional situation that we put ourselves into. And then we're going to be coming out of that with change in thought and belief. Okay. And working the universal energies into improving that particular situation for ourselves. Financially, I think we're going to be starting off very, very good. And then we're going to be coming into a situation where we're going to have to really pick and choose our new path that we're going to be going along to bring ourselves forward. Okay. People that we surround ourselves with, we're going to be finding somebody that's going to put us into a pickle. Okay. And we're going to be, for this week, we're going to be figuring and looking at all the negative aspects of this particular situation. Okay. Not thinking that we can overcome them. And that's going to be the week. Okay. But there is a way forward with that. Okay. Even though it's in the cards, doesn't mean that it has to be that way. So if you're watching this and you're a Sagittarius and the situation now presents itself to you, now that you have the information, you can now act upon it in a good way and change the outcome to what you need it to be. Okay, so that was Sagittarius. Capricorn. So for Capricorn, I think the health is going to be a little off for the beginning of the week coming up. And by the end of the week, we're going to be taming many of the situations that we put ourselves into in a big way. Okay. And get a handle on all of those things. Financially, I think we're going to be a little bit of in a lull for the next week. But nothing huge happening either way, big or small, bad or good. It's just going to be what it normally is. And I think we're going to be finding new solutions to many of the problems that we're having financially. If you do have some situations, and it's going to be, you're going to ride it out. Okay. For those situations that you find yourself in. Okay. The people that you're surrounding yourself with, you may have some big fallouts by the end of the week. Okay. But with that foreknowledge, you can change the outcome with that white light that I've taught you to make this situation much, much better. Okay. Um, Nothing is definite all the time. Okay. So if you do now have knowledge of something going to be happening, okay, you can change that in a good way. Okay. So that was Capricorn, Aquarius. So for the Aquariuses out there, that by the end of the week, you're going to have some mental trauma that it's going to be weighing on you because of unknown information that you don't have. Okay, it's going to be seeming bigger than it actually is. So just keep that in mind as we're going forward into the new week. That the thing you thought was this huge thing is actually something small. Okay, that's normal. Normal behavior. We think something's huge, it's actually small. And with that foreknowledge, you can change that around and go, okay. Doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It's going to be, oh, it's that. Okay. And you're going to use that white light and all the good graces that you have, and you're going to be changing that around in a good way. Okay. Where it's not going to be bothering you as much. Okay. Financially, I think we're going to be coming to an end cycle at the beginning of the week, and we're going to be coming out of that particular situation that you may be finding yourself into and making it much, much better in the long run. Okay. People that we're surrounding ourselves with. There may be some situations that we're having with some people. And of course, foreknowledge, you can change that situation for the better. Okay. So that was Aquarius. Pisces. So for the Pisces that are out there, that we're going to have a bit of a health situation coming on. It's more emotionally and mental situation that we're going to be putting ourselves into, and we're going to be working on how to relieve that by the end of the week. Okay, so you're going to go through it. It's going to be right, and by the end of the week, you're going to be here's a solution to that particular situation going forward. Okay, with the financial situation that we've gotten ourselves in, I think they're tied. Okay. We're going to be charging forward with new understanding of everything that's around us. With the people that we're surrounding ourselves with, there may be an abrupt change in some of our friendships coming up in the new week. And it's something that unfortunately we cannot stop. It's at least a perception of it. So you can't change other people. The only one you can change is yourself. And understanding that you can move forward in a good way through this particular situation next week. Okay. So just be mindful of that. Okay. That was Pisces. It is time for the homework. Now, for tomorrow's show, just make sure you tune in for that show. We're going to be doing our remote viewing training and understanding of a broader, bigger world, okay, about remote viewing and many of the things that can spawn from that. So tomorrow we're going to be doing the remote viewing. And if you're new here or old here or whatever, you're going to be putting this remote viewing focus number. Okay, the focusing number. And you're going to be putting that at the top of a piece of paper or whatever you're going to be writing on. And then you're going to be describing exactly the things that you see because you are the all-powerful remote viewers. Okay, you have to think in this way, or try to start to think in these ways on describing the colors, the textures, the smells, the taste. What's it sound like? Okay, is there motion? Okay, that's part of this number. Okay, is it man-made? Is it natural? Is there 90-degree angles? Is it a triangle? Is it a circle? Is it big? Is it small? So you got to be going through all the things nice and quick. Don't think about things too much. Okay, just spit them out. Boop, 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 boop. And then if you come across, it's a cat. Well, that's labeling it. And the whole purpose of remote viewing, like the pros do, that we're learning here, is not to label things, but to describe them. Okay. So that would be known as an analytical overlay. Okay. So at the bottom of your sheet, you go AOL cat. Could be correct, but that's not the purpose of the exercise. And this is how remote viewers, they only describe the target. They don't label it. Okay. So even though it could be correct, the whole purpose is not to label it. So that is tomorrow's show. Make sure, hopefully do some homework on that. Just relax, have a beverage of choice, have some soft music, that sort of thing, and move on. Bob Chubb, hi everyone. With BTC up and down in February, do the cards show 6 US cent Doge? I think we've been through this already. It's 11 cents Canadian. I'm not sure what it is right now in American, but let's have a look. Doge is going to be doing just fine. It's going to be going up with the rest of the market because everything is based on the price of Bitcoin. Well, all the other cryptocurrencies are based on the price of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up, everything else usually follows suit, okay, to one point or another. So are we going to have a bit of a drop in the Dogecoin and the Bitcoin price? I don't think it's going to be anything significant. There is some nefarious things going on behind the scenes in the elite. Okay, they're going to try some new scare tactic coming up that's going to be dropping that market down a little bit for a short period of time so they can buy in that February, March period. And I think we've already talked about it in a past show. It's going to be a very short period of time, and then it's going to be going back up and doing its normal thing, up and down, up and down, up and down, until it gets its traction and starts to move up in a big way. And of course, when it does do the big bull run, it's never all that long, actually. Historically, it's about, the last big one was a couple of weeks, actually. And it took 4 or 5 days to really ramp up. So it doesn't take long. But I do not see a 6 cent Doge exactly. Okay. Could get very close to that price, but I think it's going to be going up 1 or 2 pennies from where it is right now. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. So Dilly asks, will Matic reach $50 US in the next 6 months? Matic being a very good project. It's one I'm keeping an eye on because it does a lot of things that Ethereum was supposed to be doing a long time ago. Ethereum is catching up, fortunately. But let's have a look. For some reasons unannounced to us, something's going to be happening behind the scenes. Some nefarious things. Nothing wrong with Matic or the platform or the coin. It's just some things. The big money wants some certain things to go a certain way, and it's going to go a certain way because of the things that they can manipulate the rest of the people. Okay, so they're going to use fear tactics. They're going to use distractions, that sort of thing, and fear. Okay, so that I don't think in the next 6 months it'll get to that, quite to that 50 cent or $50 US in the next 6 months because of shenanigans behind the scenes. It'd probably go up to $4 or $5 more than where it is right now. So still a good buy. Okay. So hopefully you got some Matic in your portfolio. It's going to be going up pretty good. When will non-crypto investors realize fiat money is failing, and when will they start investing in crypto? That's going to be very, very soon, actually. And of course, it's not going to be everybody. Okay. I think many of the people that are investor mindset are already getting into cryptocurrency, but they're playing both sides of the fence. Okay. So the question is the wider understanding from non-investing people going to be getting into crypto anytime soon? I think that's going to be a long time off. It could be 4 or 5 years from now, where people are going to start to realize that the old system is not working out for them. Okay. So you're talking about the US and Canada. That's going to be 4 or 5 years from now for that. In smaller countries, they've already figured it out, like places like Africa, all around Africa. People are already using cryptocurrencies in a big way. Venezuela, of course, all the smaller countries where their fiat currency is total crap. You don't have to explain to them why cryptocurrencies are the way forward. In US and Canada, where we've been so lucky for the longest time, this is going to be taking place in about 4 or 5 years. And with the fact that Saudi Arabia is no longer accepting US dollars for purchasing oil, I think they just announced that at Davos, that the hold of the US dollar is going to be dropping like a stone in the next little while, and nobody's going to want to hold it. So for the next little while, you're going to see every country offload their US dollar as fast as possible, so that it won't be immediately noticed by everybody. Usually takes about 5 to 6 months after the fact. Okay, that the regular people will figure it out. Okay, there's always this delay when something actually happens in the market, and regular people don't realize that it's happened. People don't really realize until 6 months after the fact. So everything is falling flat on its face in the financial world, the traditional one. It won't be felt until 6 months to a year after. Okay. So the US dollar is going to be falling very, very soon. It is falling now. The purchasing value and its usefulness is waning. Okay. It won't be till 6 to 12 months after the fact that regular people on the street are going to, hey, this is not good. Okay. As a good rule of thumb, As soon as you see it on the news, it's already too late. Okay, they don't do up to the minute news. At least things. It's always after the fact, and they already knew about it, but they just hold off on the story until it's apparently even the dullest person would figure it out. Okay, so 6 months to a year from now. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. Here's an interesting one. Where do you see the future of warfare and weapons going? I have seen some info on countries like the US being able to manipulate and weaponize the weather soon. I think they've already been doing that in certain ways. But that's something you do not really want to do, especially if it's like Russia. We're going to turn on the cold machine. Well, Russia's going to go. Okay. Whatever. I think you're going to try it, but it's walking a thin line. Okay. Because they have nukes. So do we, or United States. So it's always a thin, tight rope to be walking if they're going to be trying to do that. For smaller countries, sure, I could see that happening, but with bigger countries like China and Russia,
use it against their own people.
And of course, the United States will use it against their own people. Because right now there's a huge political uproar in the United States and Canada a little bit, and they could use it against their own people to keep them inside and not cause any ruckus. Okay, that could be a thing in the future as well. It'd be more to control your own populace. Okay, instead of going with a different country, because going with another country at the moment is really dangerous. Really, really dangerous. Okay, but I could see them using it against their own people. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. 3 cards, please, on the end of weapons of mass destruction, world deciding packs to eliminate nukes in the near future. That won't be for many, many years from now. Because none of the countries trust one another, especially the US. It's something that's never going to be happening for many, 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 many years from now, because of the thing I just described. Nobody trusts one another, and now that you have this financial thing going on, always leads or puts pressure on a war footing with other countries. So that's going to be a thing for the next couple of years. Okay, we're going to go to a war with Russia. Are you nuts? It's like Canada sending 4 tanks to Ukraine. What are they going to do with 4 tanks? Anyways, that won't be a thing for at least 20, 30 years from now, where we can revisit that particular situation. There's always nefarious things going on behind the scenes and the things that we do not know. And it's pretty much a given that we're going to be keeping up with the nukes on all sides because nobody trusts one another. That's just normal human behavior. Well, normal for politicians, anyways. Okay, hopefully that answers that question. I would love to be able to purchase a new car soon. Do you see it happening in the next 3 to 5 years? Okay. Depending on what kind of car you want, if you want a little Honda or something, that's probably achievable in 3 to 5 years. We got a nice little Honda that we drive around in. Does us good. Gets through the snow nice. Has a lot of cup holders. The model that we have, that was one of the big selling points that the salesman was showing. Look at the cup holders. There's lots of them everywhere, and there is quite a few. And we have a little Fit 2013, I believe. So if you want cup holders, get that Honda. Anyway, after we've laughed at our car, let's have a look. I do see it in the next 5 years. I think you're going to be getting that particular vehicle, but for the next little while, you're going to have trouble with the finances. So you may have to keep your vehicle running for the next little while to keep things above the water. And of course, using those things I told you about in the previous show, you can change the situation for yourself to bring that in a little faster. Okay, but that takes work and effort on your side on getting that set up for yourself. If you want a new car, write it on the dream board or whatever, put it on the fridge or wherever you would frequent, and look at it every day, and the universe will start to change your world, at least from your perception, to where you can get a new car. Okay. And there may be a whole bunch of things that have to change around you to achieve that. And you're going to be getting all these things like new job opportunities or new money or discounts, all this sort of thing in the mail. And the universe is going to be throwing, oh, you want a new car? Well, here's some situations that you maybe have to do to require such a vehicle. So it can come a little sooner. Okay. But if you don't really do any of that, it probably in the year number 5, where there's a new vehicle around you. Okay. So hopefully that helps you out. Will form crypto reach $3 to $4 US in the next 2 to 3 years? It can. Put a white light around it. Make it the most attractive thing that anyone has seen. But let's have a look. If you are heavily invested in these things, it's probably best to put white light around those particular things to make them more attractive, where more people are going to pile in and put more money into that particular situation. Hint, hint, hint. Or use that ability to see the best cryptos going forward to make you that $3 to $4 US and from a low point. Okay. And the universe will go, see this one. Watch last show. You get all that information a little more so. Okay. It doesn't appear that it's going to be reaching that amount of money, because there is some interest in it, but I think people are more focused on Bitcoin for the next little while. And it's not as attractive right now, where people are going to be piling in, putting all that money in. I do see $1 or $2 in that period of time. So it's still a good buy, but I don't think it's going to be the big cryptocurrency. Okay. Card reading, 5 to 10 year outlook on Forum. So 5-10 year outlook, I think it's going to be doing okay overall. I think it's going to go the right direction, but it's going to be a long process for it to really get into the thing that it needs to be. Okay. In about 5 years, it's going to be developing itself into where everybody will want it. Okay. So past that 5 year mark, I think then after that, it'll start to really establish itself as a really good cryptocurrency. Okay. So hopefully that helps you out. Do you see this new generation of people being born in 2020 being more psychic or more sensitive to energies that previous generations? I think they would be more prone to being in that sense. Not that they have the super abilities when they pop out, but they would have more opportunities and there wouldn't be as much of a stigma behind it. Like when I was growing up, there was a bit of a stigma about being psychic and witchcraft and all that. And I remember a Catholic priest just sprinkled holy water on me because I had said something, not thinking, oops, I was picking up something not he was doing. How did you know that? Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. So whenever I deal with some Christians, I wear a raincoat, but I don't think that stigma is as prevalent as it once was. So it's going to be allowing a lot of people the opportunity to grow in their own way without all the negative things from the population of how they see you. Okay. So I think in the 2020s and all that, they will have more opportunities to grow in that particular situation without fear for the next little while. At least no witch burnings and stuff like that. And there's more opportunities to learn. When I started off, there was no internet or anything like that to learn from. You had to find some crusty old book in the back of a used bookstore to figure out the things that you needed to know. Now you just go onto Google and there it is. Okay? So we've come a long way. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Kucoin, long-term health. I think everything is a little on the downside with Kucoin because something that they were going through. But that's going to be changing around, and they're going to be by the end of 3 to 6 months from now. I think it's going to start to go back up with new exciting energy coming into that particular cryptocurrency moving forward. So it's going to be weathering the storm, and it's going to be doing much better in about 6 to 12 months from now. I think I was seeing that it's going to be having a bit of a fallout with some things, and they're going to have to regain that trust and really move forward into the future. Okay, hopefully that answers that question.
Sorry.
Is she chatting?
No, I was crocheting.
She was crocheting. She's dual tasking in the background. Okay.
This is the last question. If no one else has any questions.
This is the last question for today?
No one else has asked questions.
Oh.
It's going to be a short show.
It might be a short show. Unless we got like a half hour left. I'm unsure if you touched on this or not, but will we uncover evidence of the next few hundred years have it already or actually invented real time travel? Okay. I think we've had time travel in the past and in the future. I don't think that's going to be a thing for quite some time for our technology level, but I do think it happened in the past through other means. Okay, I think the Atlanteans had time travel, um, but that'd be more of a magical based system. Next 100 years, I think it's going to be in the next age, so probably age 9 of technology, where we can zip around the universe and solar systems with no problem. Um, but that won't be for at least 2 to 300 years from now. Okay, that we're going to be doing that. Evidence of it? I think we've already found some evidence in Egypt and stuff like that they were doing time travel. In some of the Atlantean stories, they actually talk about that as well. Yeah, I don't think that will be evident to the masses for another 2 to 300 years. That those things actually happened and reduplicating them for the future. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Flame reading, please, on the next 2 weeks of my life. Okay. We got the fire. We need the paper. Okay. And then we scorch the paper. Okay. And my intuition says it's good. Okay. Good to go. This is for your next 2 weeks. Muscle cramps. So if you're going to be facing any muscle cramps in the next 2 weeks, it's stress related and all that sort of thing. Use white light, as we've talked about previously, and it's going to be relieving most of that situation. Keep it simple. Okay, to move forward. Many of the things that you've been working on are coming kind of a dead end. You're going to be finding the easier things that we discussed previously are going to be working the best. Okay, and they're going to be bringing you forward in a bigger way. Okay, that's just why this big clump of nerves that I see, and where is it? Over here. Mm-hmm. And there's a big, looks like a cartoon rabbit.
KC on there.
KC?
KC.
KC. There's a K and a C. So what's that mean, sweetie?
Someone's name?
A name. So what's it represent? Maybe somebody in the chat will know. The KC. Super Whittle guy might know. If he'll chime in. What's about this KC? I get a Kathy with that. So whoever that is, um, I think this person's going to be helping you in a certain way of going forward. Okay, in your easier things that you're thinking of doing.
My
Okay,
impression was a bank lady.
a bank lady.
Yeah.
Do you know any Karens that are in the bank?
Not Karen, you said Kathy.
Oh, Kathy. Kathy in the bank. Could be a
It's
Karen.
in the future, and he doesn't know the person yet.
You don't? Okay. So if you're going to the bank and you find a Kathy, Karen, they're going to be helping you out in a big way. Okay. And they're going to be showing you a way forward to make the things happen in a certain way to move your situation forward. Okay. They're going to be actually helpful at the bank. Okay. It'll be weird when you go to the bank. Is there a Kathy? How'd you know Kathy? Anyways, other things that I'm seeing in your flame reading for the next 2 weeks, there is some funny business going on that you're going to be cultivating for yourself to bring it forward in a big way. Okay, so you're going to find your creative outlet and it's going to be paying off greatly for you. You just got to follow that. Okay. Oh, and there's a cat. He's right on the top.
Fluffy one.
A fluffy cat. So, what's the cat mean? Something cuddly. What's the cat doing? He's waiting for you to come home. Like my cats do. When I get home from work, they're at the door. Hello. I think it's just a new perspective in the next 2 weeks that you're going to be coming to a situation that's very, very comfortable to you. Okay. And it's going to be working out well because you're not overcomplicating the situation to move forward for yourself. Okay. And maybe you get a cat. Who knows? There's a guide here. He's your protector guide. He's a native shaman. Don't know his name though. He's actually right here at the top. There's his nose, his lips. Oh, a wolf totem too, right behind it. Could be an indicator of his name. Okay. So maybe pay attention to native culture and wolves and how they connect. Wolves are very pack orientated. Okay. Working with a bunch of people to move things forward. Not necessarily being the leader, but being a part of a group that's moving forward. Okay. I think this guide is a protector guide that's showing itself. Could be his name. Okay. Like White Wolf could be his name. So when you're in that meditative state, make sure that you can start to communicate with White Wolf. I think that's his name, White Wolf. And he's going to be helping you out in a big way. Some ravens. Well, ravens in the traditional sense, in the native culture, is about communicating between you and spirit in the spirit world. So, or crows. So when you see crows and ravens, it means communication between you and the other realm. So that may be a huge thing that's going to be coming up for you, where you're going to be starting to talk with them in a big way. Okay. And White Wolf will help you out there. Anything else we see? The wife's doing this. Hmm.
No. I think the cat is a black and gold or brown and gold.
Brown and gold cat. Okay. A tortoise shell.
Torty.
A tortie?
Torty. Yeah.
Okay.
Black, brown, gold.
Is it an actual cat he's going to be coming across? Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're going to open your life and your household to a new cat. And your heart. Okay? What's anybody else talking? No? Oh, there's an Elon Musk question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's questions.
Okay.
Super little guy says, funny you say that. I see a new cat in my near future, a soulmate returning. I feel it actually.
So where is that? Ah. Funny you say that. I see a new cat in my near future, a soulmate returning. Interesting. And maybe they'll help you talk to the other side. That's always fun. Sit down, have some coffee with them. That sort of thing. Okay, what's next? We got like half hour still. Vechain, 250 cents. Okay. VC could mean venture capitalist. He's overcomplicating things again. Keep it simple. Vechain, 50 cents. I'm thinking that it's going to be one of the better cryptocurrencies, but I don't think it's going to be reaching that in this particular year. I think it's going to be in the next 4 to 5 years that we're going to be getting that 50-cent mark. I know everybody wants it, but there's going to be an abrupt change coming up for them very, very soon. So it's going to be derailing it for the next little while. Nothing wrong with the blockchain or the VeChain, and it's probably something happening in the background. It's a lot of these platforms don't move quick enough to keep up with everything that's going on. Okay. And I think that's the case with VeChain moving forward in the next little while. So they're going to have an abrupt change to change their heading, okay, to be more viable. I think cryptocurrencies will need to be more usable in the future instead of just a money-making thing. I think the trying to get rich from a particular cryptocurrency situation may be something that's going to be coming to an end very, very soon. And it'd be more of a survival thing than just trying to become rich. As cryptocurrencies were developed in the first place as an alternative to the old system. It just has that wonderful side benefit of becoming fairly wealthy if you keep with it. Okay. People keep asking, when's the time that you're going to be cashing in? I'm not. I'm waiting for it to be the mini, and you can actually use your cryptocurrencies to do everything now. So why would you cash out into a system that's no longer good? Okay. What else we got? Hopefully that answers your question. It's be 5-6 years for that. When will ETH reach 20K USD? 4 or 5 years. what, $2,000, $3,000 right now. Probably 1,000 something American. I don't think that it's going to be for quite some time. There's some other things that are going to have to happen in the background as we move forward. Hopefully you bought it at a nice low price, like me and the wife did, and it'll start to keep going up. So that's going to be 4 or 5 years from now, where it's going to get to that $20,000 per coin. Because along the way, there's going to be some nefarious things and some news and the elites doing their thing and blah, 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 blah. Nothing wrong with the Ethereum. It's just the people that are around it or in trying to control us are doing their thing. Fear and all that crap. Okay. So just keep surrounding it with white light. Keep buying it if you can. And just sit on it. Okay. So I'm picking up 4 or 5 years from now. Okay. Do you see Elon Musk giving South Africa a helping hand in the not too distant future? He seems to steer clear of South Africa, which is sad. Isn't he from South Africa? Originally. So I think he is African. But let's have a look. He's going to be making some partnerships in South Africa to try to improve the situation a little bit if there's money to be made. But it's not going to be in a huge way. Okay. He may take on a little bit of the power situation. I think that's what he's trying to do with his cell phones and his satellites, is to have a parallel economy starting to happen. Okay, that's why he's probably bringing out his cell phones and that sort of thing to bypass the traditional market in those areas. If there's I don't think there's any opportunities for him to do anything in South Africa at this moment in time, even though I think he came from there originally. There may be some little things that he can do there. Even with all of his wealth, doesn't mean that he can do all the things that are necessary to help a country out. Okay? So a little bit, but not in a big way. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Personal reading for the next month, please. Okay. It won't be a very involved one. For a more involved reading, you can see me for a personal reading at secretreadingsbyandre.com for an hour-long reading. But let's have a look. For the next month, you're going to have a lot of little victories. There is going to be a situation that you can be overcoming in a big way. Okay. Something that you will be uncovering with a certain person that is around you that's doing some not so fun things around you. And you're going to be pointing them out, and you're going to be taking action in a good way. Okay. And you're going to be overcoming that particular situation in the next month. Okay. And you're going to be bringing in a new way of doing things as opposed to this other person. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. Will Star Atlas be around 5 years from now? Will it reach $20 USD? I think it's going to be around for the next 5 years or so. Let's have a look. There's 2 questions. That's okay. And they're going to revamp themselves and actually make it more viable for everybody, and actually work, which is nice. $20 US. Whoop. Won't be this year. It's going to be a couple years from now, where it's going to be that $20 USD. Probably year 6 or something, where they're going to be ramping it up. I think they're having a lot of trouble behind the scenes with trying to get things rolling and getting that traction moving forward. But they are going to be surviving. They're going to be making a lot of changes behind the scenes. And they're going to be bringing everything forward from there as soon as they get their footing. Okay, so hopefully you got some of their tokens and just sitting on them. Okay, thank you for that question. XPRT to 700 2025.
It's 62 cents right now.
52 cents.
62.
Okay. So you're looking for the big lightning in the bottle situation for yourself of $700 in 2025. You said 52 cents?
62.
62. There is a situation where a lot of people are going to be walking away from this particular project, and moving on to other things. It may not be the right mixture for that particular situation moving forward. Whatever's happening behind the scenes, news-wise or programming or nefarious things going on behind the scenes, I think a lot of people are going to be walking away from this particular situation in the next little while. I think it's still going to be around, but I don't think it's going to be getting to that $700 US by 2025. Maybe way more into the future than that. Okay, there's just a lot of things going on, and not a lot of people know about it. Money goes where attention is, right? So, unfortunately, not in that time period. Doesn't mean it won't go up. It's just not to that amount. Okay, so what else we got? How many past lives have I lived in my earthly experience? 20. Just came to me. They're saying you were a monk in one of the lifetimes, which is fun. We may have known each other in the past. I was a Catholic priest in one lifetime. There is a Roman seller, actually, is one of them. And I was picking up some type of shipping or boating or something like that. So you may be well developed on the water as a sailor. Okay. And I do think one of them was a monk, like a scribing monk, stuck away in some church somewhere, in some monastery, writing out things.
You like Dr. Strange?
Like Dr. Strange.
Sorry.
No. That'd be fun, though.
So
Yeah, there's approximately 20 life things that I do see. Now, earthly, okay, we covered that. How many unearthly lifetimes have you had? That may be more interesting. 5. So you may have been on some other planets. You have to remember when the soul comes back to the earth plane, doesn't or the our plane of existence, doesn't mean earth. Doesn't mean you're gonna go to earth. It may be some other planet way out yonder. And you could be living a life experience of another species. Okay, and I do see about 4 or 5 of them that are not on Earth. Okay, to experience the things that you want to learn on this plane of existence. So, might want to look into that. Maybe one of them was the monk. Okay, so there you go. 25. What cryptocurrency will be used as tender in the future, if any? Bitcoin. It's already happening now. I think there was another African country that was saying they're going to be using Bitcoin as legal tender. And that's going to become more and more the norm. Okay, because Bitcoin, you can actually trust it. It's not attached to anybody. It's pseudo-anonymous. It works for what its intended use. With the Lightning Network, it's faster now. So more and more countries are starting to use Bitcoin as legal tender. Okay. And I'm thinking more and more countries are going to be getting into that because, especially the smaller countries, because their currency is really bad, usually, like South African countries where they have no banking on the most part, or you can South America, huge in South America. There's a couple of coins that they use. They use Bitcoin, they use Litecoin, they use Dash for their day-to-day purchases. Okay, you don't have to explain to them why Bitcoin is good. Okay, a lot of Greece, many of the those countries are getting into cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin for legal tender. So all the smaller countries are going to be getting on board with Bitcoin as legal tender in the near future. Because the old system's dying. Okay. So we'll have no other choice. Just saying. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. Hi, Andre. Just got off the treadmill watching the show. Can I have a 3-card look see on my trip to Puerto Vallarta? I am thinking of taking a new woman in my life with me. How will this work out? Ooh. Okay. Trip. We'll do the trip first. It's kind of 2 questions. There's going to be a little bit of a hang up maybe in your as you're trying to get there. I don't think anything serious, but just be ready for delays. Okay. So if you're taking the plane, just expect bigger delays than you've experienced in the past, especially if you're in Canadian airports at the moment. And I think there's going to be a little bit more hang-ups with actually booking things. So just make sure that you have all that buttoned up before you go, and expect delays and everything. But overall, I think the trip will be a good one. No major things, just airline stupidity going on out there with everything. Okay. Thanks to Justin, right? The new lady friend. I think there's going to be a bit of a situation with her where there's going to be some confusion with her moving forward. She may not know exactly the situation between the two of you. Okay, so she may not be telling you the complete truth of everything that's going on around her. I don't think she's doing it on purpose. I think she thinks it's to protect you and other people around her, where she's not telling the entire truth. So she's going to be a little standoffish in some cases. Okay. And this is where a little bit of that confusion will be around you going, huh? So just be ready for that, and then maybe change that with some white light. And hopefully she can tell you exactly what's going on. Okay. So I think in of itself will work, the trip with her, but I think she's going to be holding back something from you. And I think in the trip, she will start to describe what's going on with her. Okay. And bringing that relationship to much closer together. Okay. Hopefully that helps you out, Brad. I am going to Sedona for a solo retreat. Will this trip be beneficial? The trip will be fun overall. I think it's going to be very beneficial, but you may not get all the things that you're expecting from the retreat. Okay. The trip in itself will be a nice, fun departure from your day to day. I think you're going to be finding that some of the information that you're gaining from it may not be exactly what you're looking for. But there's going to be other things that crop up from that particular situation where you're going to be meeting new people and that sort of thing throughout the trip. Okay. Which will add on to your own information moving forward. So it's more going to be a bit more of a fact-finding situation for you. So the little pieces that you're going to be picking up, but overall, it won't be any huge earth-shattering thing in realization. But it's going to be those little things that you're going to be picking up along the way as you go on your trip. And the people that you meet, which will be very important for the future for you. Okay? Hopefully that helps you out.
That's the last question.
That's the last question. Quick. So, do we have anything?
No.
Richmond says, laugh out loud. Okay. So we got the homework coming up for tomorrow's show. Lots of fun there. Make sure you get your, you don't have to get your homework done, but if you should happen to take a minute or two, okay. And that is to help you develop yourself and your own abilities. I think people are talking about a question that we're going to be doing tomorrow's show is about the other side and what it looks like and the great library. So this will hopefully lead you into that path on improving your psychic abilities so you can go to the other side through astral projection. Okay, it's a lot of fun over there. Good movie to watch would be Our Home. So Our Home by Chico Xavier. He was a famous medium from South America. So look him up. Has 2 movies that I know of, and they're very good. Okay. Our Home shows you exactly what the other side is. So we'll get a little bit more into that next show tomorrow. Any other questions that we need to address? Okay. So, if you like a personal reading with me, make sure you go to psychreadingsbyandre.com. Scrolling on the bottom of the screen. I got a reading in about an hour or so. So just go there. If you like some personal healing from a healing expert like my wife, that's also on our website at psychreadingsbyandre.com. It's already posted there, and you can use the same payment methods as me. Okay. If you like to protect your cryptocurrencies in the best possible way, go to psychreadingsbyandre.com. And we have a Trezor affiliate link there. If you should happen to purchase a Trezor device for yourself, know that we make a little bit of money from that purchase. Okay, so with that, I guess we'll close it off for today. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it everywhere, and I'll see you in the future.